just dropped Leah off. Headed back home. And yeah, I figured let's give the updates. This is gonna be probably messy and all over the place. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a lot to process. So obviously we had to do the surgery. We had to do the biopsy because something was in her lung. It had grown, right? Again, this is going to be all over the place. She was 4 when she was diagnosed, okay? Had the tumor on the adrenal gland. There was a spot on each lung. They did biopsies. One lung had something from the cancer, making it stage 4 because it traveled from the adrenal gland to the lung. The other lung, the thing that was in that lung was what they call a granuloma. It was nothing, basically just a scar. So, ever since then, her last surgery was in 2017. So, like 8 years, I believe, right? She's been clear. So now, we've been keeping up with scans and stuff. We decided not to do any kind of chemo, because we felt like, okay, you surgically remove everything, what would we be doing chemo on? So yeah, 8 years later, all right, there's a little something. It was like 6 millimeters, tiny, but had to get it out, right? Surgeon called today, actually. What's today? The 7th. And, told me what it was. And he's like, yeah, we got it all. He also casually just kind of dropped that, this is a very rare cancer, as it is. Adrenocortical carcinoma, ACC. It's rare at any age. I believe it's rare at any age, and even more rare for children. And most children don't survive. So yeah, he kind of casually dropped that into the conversation today. But he also doesn't believe that we should do chemo. He doesn't think that is what the oncologist is going to want to do. I still have not heard from the oncologist, but I will say, even if I do hear from the oncologist that he would like to do chemo, I am going to tell them again, no. I'm going to kindly decline their offer of wanting to do that. The type of chemo is not dang, how do I say this kindly? It's not a good chemo. I mean, there's not really a lot of good chemos out there, I guess, or radiations, immunotherapies, and things like that. There's things that are maybe softer on the body. This is not one of them. What they were wanting to do to her, I had one person tell me, who is very knowledgeable, tell me that losing her hair would be the least of her concerns. She would have a whole lot of other issues to worry about. And I remember, years ago, getting all of the the list of all of the side effects of the medicine that they would want her on and everything, and it was god awful. So I told Bria this. I've known since Tuesday morning that it was cancer. I told Bria this Wednesday night when I picked her up. And we're joking about it. I don't know how else to put it, you know. I told her, like, again, I will advocate for not doing the chemo. I do not believe that that's what we need to do. I am a believer that food is medicine, and I know that that doesn't, like, control everything, but you do have some control, you know, your vitamins, and I don't know, it almost sounds so stupid to think that I have any sense of control over this, but yeah, I don't know. I just had that conversation with her about how you really have to take care of yourself. There's something, we met with a nutritionalist years ago when this first happened, and olive leaf was one thing that we had talked about, like cancer being a fungus in the body, and the olive leaf kills the fungus in your body, that kind of stuff. I don't know. Obviously, I have to do like more research, and we have been doing fairly well. Like, she's pretty conscious of what she eats. Like, we're very big on fruits and vegetables and stuff. Just a little side note, like, this is one of those things that, like, drives me, is I gotta put good food on the table. You know what I mean? That's one of my driving factors. But anywho, no, car, not your turn. But yeah, we've had, you know, serious conversations about it, and like, you gotta really take care of yourself. This is serious. It is serious. And we're like in this weird, everything causes cancer. Oh my gosh, we can't do anything without something causing cancer. It's like that. And life is short, have the cake. You know? We had the conversation that, like, this is not a death sentence necessarily. This is not the end of the world. We still have to live. We still have to go to school. We still have to go to work. We still have a life to live. We still have to be kind to people. You can't let this disease become you. You know, mind over matter kind of thing, which I know it sounds crazy, probably. It sounds... Again, like, we have any control over, you know, weird. Maybe these are just my limitations, my limiting beliefs coming through, because a lot of me really does believe that, like, mind over matter. But mind over matter when it comes to cancer? Just pray it away? I mean, oh Lord. I'm still in a very odd spot, obviously. But we're gonna be strong. But we're also gonna allow ourselves to be weak and feel our feelings. And these are the conversations that we're having. That, yeah, this sucks. We're still going to have to go for CT scans and probably MRIs as well, and do blood work. We're still going to have to, like, monitor this. It's still going to be a part of our lives. but it's not the end of the world. You know, from a mother's standpoint, I still have to discipline. I can't just let her get away with murder, is the term that I like to use, and I don't know if that's a good term, bad term, whatever. I can't let her get away with murder. I can't let her just get away with whatever because of this. I literally took my child's phone away while she was in the hospital bed because she was mean to a nurse at one point. And, you know, while I can have some understanding, there are some lines that you just don't cross with your words and such. And, yeah. So I'm kind of, you know, tough. Tough love. I know, and it sucks in the moment, but I know in the long run, because this isn't it. This isn't over right here. You know, long run, it's going to be great. Then that's another thing that we had a conversation about. We could get hit in a car accident, have a brain aneurysm. Like, I don't know. There's so many other ways that we could go out. And I know that sounds kind of like morbid or bleak or whatever, but again, life isn't over, and we can't just stop living. We can't just give up. We can't just like, oh my God, this is it, and be depressy and not want to get up and do anything, because what kind of quality of life is that? It's not. We can't do that to ourselves. So, and then Leah, little Leah, she actually came home not feeling well today. She came home and napped. She was kind of running a fever. She felt pretty hot. I don't know. I had to bring her over to Dad and Grandpa's house, so I had work all weekend, and I brought some Advil for that and whatnot. And yeah, she came home and napped. But she's kind of been like Johnny Knoxville. It's like, yeah, welcome to Jackass. Just doing the most. And I hate it. I know she's feeling like kind of left out, and I know she's feeling stressed out. You know, it wasn't very fun for her either, having to see her sister go through this. And there were multiple times where she asked me, is Sissy gonna die? And, you know, of course they're siblings, and they fight all the time and get on each other's nerves and whatnot, but of course they care about each other, you know. So it was a lot on her. And then Bria, the night that I told her that, like, yeah, it was cancer, she, like, said something to Leah about it, just like, yeah, I have cancer and I'm gonna die. But she was joking, and that's not really, I mean, maybe that is what she's thinking, and she was just masking it with humor. But she had made a joke, but Leah didn't really take it as a joke. She, like, ran and threw herself on the couch and started crying. Like a silent cry, too. Like, one of the worst kinds. So, I don't know, y'all. That's my update. It's weird. It's a really weird time. I don't know if I'm feeling peaceful or delusional. I'm not really quite sure. Like, people at work and my friends and stuff, I feel like they're more like, oh my gosh, this is awful, you know? Like, oh my gosh. And I'm just kind of like, I mean, we've been dealing with this since she was 4, you know, like, we kind of knew what it was going to be. Like, we kind of, I've been preparing for worst case scenario for years, you know, like, cha-cha-cha, like, But I know that we can't live in fear. We can't. Am I scared? A little bit. Yeah. This fucking sucks. Sorry for those who don't like the F-bomb. But, you know, it does. It sucks. But we're just going to keep pushing. And that's that. I love y'all. Thank y'all for the prayers and the cares. And I know a lot of y'all have been messaging me and like waiting on the update. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I don't have the energy to personally send out, you know, messages or whatever, or calls right now. I've just been trying to process. So I appreciate those that that understand that, right? I appreciate that understanding and just not taking it personally. I really appreciate that. I'm not trying to ignore anybody, I swear. Life be life. I love y'all. Thank y'all.